Howdy, folks. Video here today explaining how to access some of our research databases that we're going to have access to for our research projects. So to navigate to the links, head to mrestad.com, hover over research projects, and then click on research resources. And what we're going to look at are these two links up here at the top. And I want you to notice that I have the passwords listed here as well. So you might need to write those down or copy and paste them to make sure you're getting in correctly. So let's start with EBSCO host. If I click on here, it's going to ask me to log in. And again, I've got my information there. So let's log in. I'll have to do this every time you access it since you're not on school grounds. Password is discovery1 exclamation point. Let's see if I get that in. Cool. So here we are. And there's a couple of options that you have for researching. The one that I'm going to recommend, or the ones that I'll recommend, are this grades 6 through 12 student research. Let's see if I can do that. No, I can't. So I've got to open it up individually. This one's great because this basically gives you a whole section on current issues that you can take a look at. So if you're trying to come up with a research topic, this has a whole list of topics that are potentially going to work really well for you. You can also just use this general search button. So maybe my topic is on homework. Take a look, just do a quick search here to see what we have. Okay, so I did a search for homework. And what's great about these research sites, these databases, is that I can adjust my search functions. So if you're taking notes, take notes on these ones. So for example, I want to do some research on homework, but I have articles and sources that are ranging over 100 years. So I want to look at homework, anything that's been published about homework that this database can find, only in the last 20 years. So let's go from 2000 to 2021. Cool. So now I've got that narrowed down, but I still have 52,000 sources up here. So let's make sure we've got a couple of our filters in there. So number one, I definitely want to read only full text articles. If I uncheck this, it's going to give me articles that are only like samples. So that added about 7,000 articles that are just like, hey, here's the topic of this article, but you don't get to actually read it. No, I want to be able to read the full text of any source that I find. And then I can also do some other sort of filters. So I can filter by the type of information that I want. So let's take a look at trade publications. And what that means is this would be, if I can find it, these would be articles about like American libraries. So this is specifically kind of about library sciences or Publishers Weekly. I'm not quite sure what that one is. School library journal. So we've got a lot of different types of like magazines, basically is what these are, but they're magazines directly, hopefully related to something educational. So I could do that. I could also take a look at, let's broaden this to wider magazines, not just trade publications. Cool. And now I've got some extra ones. So Educational Digest, that's probably a pretty good source. Scholastic Choices, that probably is a great source as well. Educational Leadership. Here's another great one. So I'm at least looking at the sources before I even take a look at the article themselves. So hopefully you're noticing that even before I click on these links to like look at the full PDF text, I can kind of evaluate this type of source. So I can see when it was published. I can see who published it. I can see the article. I can read the brief little excerpt here. I know how long it is. So right off the bat, this might be a really good source for me if I'm researching homework to get started with, right? It's 4 pages. I think I can read that. It's talking about student engagement, stress management. Perfect. This might fit really well into my research question about homework. So once I get into this, I can, like, maybe let's take a look at this link here. Cool. Sweet. So this looks totally readable. I could go through this and find some information. Some other things that I might want to point out to you folks are 2 links on the side. Number one, this is called the permalink. So as you're finding your sources, do not copy and paste this address from the top bar. You will not get back to this article, and then you're going to have to research for the whole thing again. I'm going to say that again. Don't copy the top bar. You will not get back to your article. Because this is sort of proprietary research databases, meaning we pay for it, it is kind of like password protected. And so you can't just share this search link and other people who are not in our district can access that. That's how these research databases kind of exist, because people pay money to use them. So what you have to do is you have to click this permalink button down here. Copy and paste this guy. This is what will get you back to your source here. So as I'm taking notes, if I find a source that's good, make sure you copy and paste this permalink. The other thing you should be doing as you're finding great sources is just gathering the citation information. And so that's going to be this yellow button off here to the side. See how it says, brings up that little button that says cite. And this is so helpful. This is why research databases are your friend, because they create a full in-text citation for you. Now, you're going to have to find a couple sources not on research databases to practice the skill of creating citation, but this is what I need to put in my annotated works cited page. This is the full citation. So I can copy that and paste it into my note chart wherever I'm compiling my information. Cool. So that is Explora. Let's see if I can get back here to my other one. So if you're not finding anything on Explora, it might be a little bit limited in what you can access. Let's see if this gets here. Back to this guy. Oh, page isn't working. I might have to re-log in. Oh, nope, there it is. You might just use the general EBSCO host research databases, and this is a lot bigger. It's a little bit scarier to use, but you can use it. So this lets you choose which databases that you want. So EBSCO host is a database that's compiled. I'll give you my EBSCO host is a database that is compiled of other databases. Because some people might just want a database that's focused on education, and some people that might just want a database that's focused on science or law, things like that. Or things that have to do with the environment. That's what GreenFile is. So again, take notes and maybe pay attention to what these different databases do. So GreenFile, that's a good one for anything like climate related or like biology, animals, things like that. Teacher Reference Center and ERIC are really good for anything academic, so education related. And then just kind of broader ones that you might use are Academic Search Elite or Moss Complete. Cool. So with those ones selected, I might click continue here. So now I know here are my research databases. And then let's go ahead and search for homework again. Search. So Explorer came up with about, well, it's a big difference, right? So Explorer came up with like 50,000 articles. This one only came up with 4,000 articles, but they're going to be slightly different. It just searches for things in different ways. Now, my sliders and my filters are going to work the exact same. So let's update this to 2,000. Cool. I've got my full text on, and then I can still select kind of what sources I want to use here. So there's another option for you. And then our last one, well, actually we got two more. My goodness, so stick with me. Get back to here. Another one that might be good is, well, let's just go to issues and controversies. And I want you to notice, so back at mrestad.com, that this is going to be a different login. You're going to log in as a senior high student. It doesn't matter if you're a senior high student or not. I'm already logged in, but just notice that the username is senior and the password is student. This one is super helpful for the type of research that we're doing. Because, for example, let's take a look at what's a good topic here? What am I interested in? Caffeine. I love caffeine. So I'm going to click on caffeine, and it's going to bring up a whole bunch of pro-con articles. Oh, perfect. Should people consume caffeine? Great. There's a great research topic that I should probably read because I drink a lot of coffee. And this is a great place for you to start, because what I'm going to do is, if you find an article that is on issues and controversies, number one, it gives you a pretty good research question, right? Should people consume caffeine? That's stellar, right? And it gives you supporting arguments and arguments against it. So this is going to count for both of your research database articles, right? Remember, you have to have 2 articles from a research database. If you find an article on issues and controversies, great. Check that box. You're done. You've got it. And this page is also great because you can still grab a share link and a citation link. So like, boom, there's my MLA citation. Sweet. Share. Record URL. Boom. There's my permalink that I can save. Awesome. So these are really, really useful pages for you to get familiar with. If you have questions, be sure to reach out for me. Check in with me on Wednesdays. I'm going to do my best to answer any questions that you guys have and help you with this, because research databases they're big and scary. All right. Good luck, folks.